And other thing that I learned about communication and the deep bond between animals and humans, but animals and each other. I never had a horse of my own. I always dreamed of having a horse, but I have this deep connection to them. And I started learning the stories that the horses, have babies. This is kind of how life keeps going. Have babies, right? So the horses have babies. And at a certain time, the humans decide it's time to separate, wean, separate, whatever. They literally separate the babies from the mothers. And evidently, so I was being told this story, the babies are all put into this trailer and the mothers are still in their field and the babies are crying for their, oh my God, the babies are crying for their mommies and the mommies are calling out for their babies and the babies are being driven away and they're calling out to their mommies and the mommies are running the fence line, as far as they can, just like, bring my baby back, right? Where are you? Take my baby away from me, right? And just their cries are just heart-wrenching because they have feelings just like we do. And if they had just told the mothers and the babies, like, we're going to send the babies here at this time, please, take your time and say goodbye. And they're going to be fine. They're going to this place. And you're going to stay here. And you're going to be safe here. But your babies are going to go here. And just at least give them time to say goodbye to each other. I mean, can you imagine? Okay, I'm emotional because I know what that feels like. To be, well, in this case, the mothers did not abandon their babies. They wanted their babies. So one of the biggest things that I hear from when I was communicating with, professionally, especially from horses, but other animals too, but it's really big with the horses. They didn't get to say goodbye to their mommies. They were just taken. And so if we could just, one little thing, let them know and take your time to say goodbye. The same thing happens, horses are bought and sold. That's just the way it is, evidently. Some of them have the privilege of being able to stay in one place, the place they were born, or the place that they were first, bought, however that works. And they get to live their whole life there. But for the most part, horses are bought and sold. And they don't get to say goodbye to their best friends, like Jelly Bean and Mr. P. They were best friends. So they don't know what's happening. Where's my friend going? My friend's gone. Or you're taken, or they're the ones that are taken and they're moved, but they miss their friend. And it can cause deep grief and deep behavior issues that the human doesn't understand what the heck is going on. But if there had just been a little bit of communication, a little bit of compassion, and giving them a chance to say goodbye to each other, it really saves. It can change everything. There's a pretty famous story about this Black Panther who was rescued from a bad situation in a zoo. And he secluded himself in the rescue that he was taken to. He was kind of aggressive, like, stay away from me. And one of the things, there were several things that was going on. He had the wrong name. That changed him when his name was changed. But he had lived next in a cage right next to him were two baby tigers. And he just kind of was like the elder, kind of watching over them, even though they had bars between them. And he just was really connected with these baby tigers as they were growing up. There was a deep bond. And when he was taken, they weren't allowed to say goodbye. They weren't, and they didn't know what happened to each other. So the people at the rescue and the animal communicator were able to tell this Black Panther that the babies are fine. They are living in this kind of a location. They gave them a picture, a description. And once the Black Panther knew that his friends were safe, his whole demeanor changed. Okay, yeah, they changed his name too. But his whole demeanor changed. Everything about him. It was kind of like he was given a new life, and he came out of his shell. And so just communicating in that way, especially when there's a deep bond, we don't even think about it as humans sometimes, but it can make all the difference in the world, giving them time to say goodbye to each other.